So I am en route to Ryan's house. We're gonna go scoop him up, and then we need to run to town. There's a few parts that we need to pick up and different things for the car, and then we're gonna come back, hopefully put a few hours in at the shop and get some things done today before he has to take off to work. So let's go. We are currently en route to St. Joe. We got to run up to O'Reilly's. They have what we need, and that happens to be some exhaust wrap. I ran out wrapping the last header about halfway through, so we need to get some more of that so we can get finished up. So we're gonna run up there, grab that, and then come back and hopefully put a couple hours of work in before Ryan has to head off to work. So what do you think about that?
No stoked.
Okay, so we just got back to the shop. Gonna kind of show you what we picked up and the things that we're gonna be getting into today and working on. So we had to go to O'Reilly's, and I picked up another 50-foot roll of this DEI titanium exhaust wrap. It's what I used on the rest and the crossover pipe and the rest of the header. So we're gonna go ahead and finish it up with that. This is great stuff. I don't know if anybody has experimented or messed with exhaust wrap much, but I love this titanium stuff because you don't have to soak it in water or anything to use it, and it's really easy and pretty mess free to go on. So I'll kind of show as we're putting that on. Also had to order, I got these from LMR, lower intake to the head gaskets, and then also picked up a set of copper header gaskets. Everyone who runs an On3 kit or Turbo Fox in general, a lot of people say use copper RTV, but I'm not really so sure about that, so we're gonna try the copper.
I run the copper gaskets on my car, and I haven't had any issues with them. Kind of what I've seen everybody else talking about wanting to run the copper RTV on top of the actual gaskets. I feel that the actual copper exhaust manifold gasket should seal. So I mean, we'll see. I feel it's a better option than just coating the gaskets in copper RTV. I don't really like that. It seems kind of a janky solution.
All right, so we're hopefully going to give this a go, and hopefully those work out good. Don't want any problems with that, any leaks or anything. And then also got just a 5.0 Resto. Picked up one of their power steering or AC delete kits, so it just comes with a bracket to relocate the power steering. I'm not running AC anymore, so we're going to go ahead and get that installed also. So here is the other ones that I already have completed. So part of the crossover pipe, and then there's the other section, and then I just have the rest of this header to finish up. This is the passenger side, so I'll go ahead and get this knocked out. So just finished up with getting everything buttoned up with the wrapping. So finished the passenger side here. It doesn't look too bad. These specific headers are a little difficult to wrap at the ends just because of the shape of them without it looking too wonky and messed up, but did the best we could. Just gonna leave that part out, but for the majority, got it all wrapped up. Not really too sure how these turn out after they get heat on them. From what I've read, they bake on some, so hopefully that helps keep it in place a little bit better. But as far as the other ones, they are all ready to go on the crossover pipe. So now we're just messing with these copper gaskets. Yeah, what's going on with those?
I was going to cut notches so we can slide them down, but the 10 snips I have are not too sharp, and my other ones are not here. So looks like we're just putting these bitches on.
Send it. Okay, so I'm going to give him a hand, and we're going to throw these on, and hopefully everything goes up very well.
We thought these were solid copper because that's what I have on my car, but they are not. So we'll have to see how this actually turns out in the end, but hopefully it turns out pretty well. We don't have any issues with them leaking it. If so, then...
For those of you that aren't aware, the point of it, the kit actually comes with gaskets, but either using those or just a cork one, not really recommended because there's so much pressure in there from the actual boost that if you just run a cork one, or I've even read that if you just run the ones that come with the kit, they'll blow out pretty easily, and that's not what you want. Hopefully these work out well, and if not, we'll have to figure out a different solution.
Alright, so these are the header bolts that came with the On3 turbo kit. I've got several, and they're 3/8 bolts, or 3/8 headed bolts. I've got several different size 3/8s here. This is a Matco socket. It just barely wants to lock in on it. I mean, it doesn't want to go on there at all. This is a Baco. It's a snap-on made industrial. It won't go on it at all. This is a Craftsman, and it slides right on nice. Same thing if I go to my Craftsman industrial wrench. If I try to put the box end on it, I ain't got nothing. It doesn't want to go on there at all. Put my open end on, it slides on there and it's nice and tight. And I've tried metric equivalency. I mean, a 10 millimeter is too loose on it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the quality control of these. We're gonna run them for now, and then we'll just have to, if they cause us any issues getting them on or whatever else, just really don't want to have to buy more header bolts for something that should have came with the kit.
So we got both the driver and the passenger side header installed. Now we're just going to go ahead. We just hung them with the end bolts, so now we're going to go ahead and complete the rest of them, get them in there and get them tightened down, so that way we can go ahead and put the mid pipe on and everything. So new day, new video. We got cut off last time. The camera battery died, so we were SOL on getting anything else shot. But there's been a few updates to the car. And some work we've gotten done in the meantime, so just a quick update on where we're at, so you know what's going on moving forward. So finally got the car up on stands, which we've been needing to do, and then we actually got, last time I think we'd updated, we had the driver and passenger side header installed, and we were just needing to install the crossover pipe, so we actually did that, and they were all locked down and good to go tight, so we don't need to do anything further there. And then we finished up mounting the power steering pump and then the lower intake. I think we actually talked about that last time, but those are all done. So now the plan for tonight is to get the lines ran for the power steering pump, because we had to make some adjustments and move things around, and then hopefully get the upper intake stalled, which Ryan is working on right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get this going, and then hopefully get in a good state to start installing the cold side and mounting the intercooler and all that kind of stuff. So that will be where we are headed next. We took it upon ourselves when we started putting Ryan's car back together and then my car together, instead of painting a lot of our motor pieces and engine bay pieces, to powder coat them instead of just using regular spray paint. And we don't really have a ton of experience with powder coating. We've actually never done it before. We just purchased a nice Harbor Freight media blasting cabinet, and then just some cheap stuff to do some powder coating. Not necessarily the greatest job, but it was definitely a learning experience, and it's kind of cool. But
next time we do it, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, for the first time we ever did it, it didn't turn out too bad.
No.
I don't think so. My manifold kind of got a couple flakes on it, but isn't horrible.
But as far as like spraying these pieces, extremely difficult just because of the size. Luckily we had just a junk oven that we were able to use and put it in, but just getting them to hang correctly and all that shit is just extremely difficult. So like here on the bottom side of the plenum, got some bare spots and stuff, but you won't ever see that, who cares. Other than that, it should look pretty good. Hopefully it holds up a lot better than just regular rattle can paint would. We'll see.
Oh, mine all looks pretty well, I think. The black.
Yeah, your black looks good for sure. As haggard as we do everything else, sometimes we try to do things halfway right. So Ryan's just got a sanding block,
Just take it off.
kind of cleaning off.
There's some powder that was on here from whenever we did it, and just a little bit of crud. We didn't really, we blasted it, but before he powder coated it, but we didn't want to blast the mating surfaces and like make them too gritty. And so we just kind of left those alone. I worked at a machine shop for a while, and this is how we did everything. Just not super coarse fine paper or sandpaper, just kind of, I don't know. I think this is like 320-ish. Yeah, 320, and on a block, and it lets you get it nice and clean surface, and then you can kind of hit the areas that got some junk on them.
Shit's too loud.
RIP headphone.
Crack bag of hardware.
He does always get like the slot.
I forget when we had nuts on. So we're only going to put a few bolts in. We only need the upper plenum on right now for the purpose of mocking up the intake piping. So we just needed to get a proper height and where it's going to be at in order to do that. It just makes it easier. Now that the upper plenum is on, we can go ahead and I'm going to mock fit the turbo. For the same reason we're putting the upper plenum on, just so we can get a feel for spacing and everything, just to make sure everything fits the way it should before we go ahead and start putting everything down for the final install. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So now that is all done, we can go ahead and start putting on some intercooler piping. Trying to anyway. Dang, it's crazy seeing that in there. It looks sick.
Remember, it's not a how-to channel.
You're right. So what are we doing then?
I looked like I had fucking, I saw myself in the picture and it looked like I was fucking Paul Sr. from Orange County Choppers. I was like, oh fuck, we gotta do something with this.
What are we doing?
We're clogging the turbo.
Why?
The oil can drain out of it.
It's important. Remember, kids, always clock your clock.
Set that fucker clogger up. I tried to do it on there, but I couldn't fucking get to the goddamn nuts. Alright, we're getting a little bit of things done. Not very much, to be honest. It's like coming up on 9 o'clock on Sunday. I ain't doing too good. Pro tip: shrimp chimichanga from a small town Mexican restaurant on a slow Sunday evening. Probably not the best thing to get. Well, how you feel about that, Jesse? I'm at the ceiling, homie.
I don't fuck with the shrimp, so that's your fault.
So I don't know where we left off. Turbo's kind of mocked up on there. Clocked it. Kind of just put the downpipe up on there to see how it's gonna look. I'll be honest. The fucking downpipe is the nicest, most quality piece of the whole kit. We're gonna have to get a couple things before we start really getting the intercooler on. We need to plumb up the power steering pump, but we need Teflon seals to do that.
Teflon Don.
Need O2 sensors because I have Jesse's brand new O2 sensors on my car.
Thanks.
Yeah. We'll see how much more really happens tonight.
Who knows? Probably not much.
Yeah. Probably gonna be tomorrow, I'd say.
Big is down. Hard.
I may have been falling asleep a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, I think we have quite a bit of content for our first video, so we can probably go ahead and just cut it here. And then call it like first video at the beginning of the reassemble for the turbo. So, you're good.
Hey, you're really gonna have to cut some shit together on this one, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
So,
that's the way to do it though.